Hi everyone, and welcome to day 2. So how did you feel yesterday after the breath work? Do you have any questions? I want to hear how it's going for you, if you felt more relaxed, a bit calmer, or did counting the breaths make you a bit more anxious because you haven't done that before. So let me know, I want to hear how it's all feeling. And also, I want to know who's watching live, come say hi. And for everyone watching the replay, hello as well. Let me know what questions you have. And I wanted to just revisit the breath a little bit as well, and just kind of a reminder. So the breath work is something that I recommend going to every single day. So if you can, maybe when you first wake up in the morning, then you want to do just kind of maybe lay in your bed or something you just do, or just when you get up, maybe get into a comfortable seated position and just work on getting into those deep breaths, getting into the deep breathing. And I always love to end my day with it. And what I also love doing is habit stacking. So if you want to set an alarm or something on your phone, then you can always get into your breathing work. And I also recommend checking out the IG Live that I posted in this group as well. Just the conversation that I had with Campbell Will about breath work, and he gives some really good suggestions as well. And going back to it, especially when you're feeling any discomfort or pain in your body. That's the first thing to go to before stretches, exercises, massages, etc. Just reconnect with yourself. Okay? And get into that parasympathetic nervous system to calm your body down. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly refresh to make sure that we are good to go. And today, we're just gonna do a few lengthening exercises. So if you have a chair with a back, that's what we're gonna be using. So we're gonna first start on a mat and then work our way up. If you don't have a chair with a back, then we can definitely, I'll show you just a different variation that you can do at the wall as well. All right, so perfect. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is just get onto the floor, and you're going to get onto all fours. So I want you to get onto your hands and your knees, and from here I just want you to think about placing your shoulders directly over your wrists, and then your hips over your knees. And when you're in this position, your back is in a neutral position. So if you had a glass of water or if you had a broomstick or something, it's just kind of straight on your back. Something to note that's really important is to make sure that our neck, we're not kind of crunching your neck here, and it's not all the way down here, right? So just thinking kind of like about that chin tuck, keeping your neck kind of straight, so you kind of have a straight line from the crown of your head all the way down towards your tailbone. So I just have my toes tucked under, so if you can kind of see it's tucked under slightly, and I'm gonna have you actually just, because everyone's curve is different, and in case you have spinal fusion as well, what I want you to do from here is actually we're just gonna kind of come forward and back. So using your breath, I'm gonna have you inhale forward and then exhale back. Inhale forward and exhale back. So this is a good variation to do in a yoga class if people are getting into cat-cow and that might not feel good for you. Or if you have that spinal fusion, it's a good way to just kind of keep your spine neutral. You're also going to feel a little stretch in your wrists. You're going to feel it underneath your armpits. And you're also using your core engagement as well to keep a neutral spine, because you're not just kind of dumping into your low back. Okay? So just do a few of those. If it feels better for you, you can even bring your knees a little bit wider than hip width apart, and your feet a little bit wider, and then you just have a little bit more space as you shift forward and back, especially if you're feeling any sciatica or any pain in your low back area. All right. Now from here, I want you to just kind of, if you don't know where your curves are, what I always recommend is placing your hands onto your back. So from here, you'll kind of feel if you have a hill or a valley, so that's what I like to call them. You might, if you have a rotation in your back, you might feel a hill on the side of the curve. So because it might come out on that side a little bit more. And your valley would be more of that concave side. So you might feel that in your low back or your mid back, right? So what we're gonna do is work on kind of evening out the landscape in your back. So I like to do this with cat-cow. And then I'll show you other ways to do this tomorrow on the Zoom as well. So from here, I'm gonna have you, I think we've probably all done cat-cow in your PT class or something. So when you do this, I want you to first just inhale as you're gonna drop your belly and then bring your chest forward. So your heart's kind of coming forward, the crown of your head lifts. Inhale, and then exhale. So just kind of going into the cat-cow. And it's not just a quick movement of just dropping the belly. I want you to think about just kind of moving through your spine slowly. And everyone's shape is gonna look a little bit different. And then if you have spinal fusion, also work, it might depend on where your fusion is, depending how far you can go. If you have a full fused spine, then you probably would work more with the, what we were first doing, the hip heel, okay? So from here, we're gonna inhale, and then now as you exhale, the side that you felt your valley, I want you to press the hand of that side, the valley side, into the floor. So you're kind of lifting that to even out the landscape in the back. So if you have a right thoracic curve, then your valley is probably on your left side. So I want you to press your left hand into the mat, lift that left side, lift ribs. And then if you have a left lumbar curve, then you likely have a valley in your right side, right? So then I want you to press your right knee into the mat and then lift your right waist as you exhale. So those are just a few options there, okay? And again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments or bring them to the Zoom tomorrow. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we have a chair. And you guys probably all have my stretches already, right? So the stretches that we do at the kitchen sink and everything. So I'm not gonna go over those, but I'm gonna show you another option. So if you have a chair with a back, I want you to place your hands on top of the chair. Or if you don't have the chair, then if you're at the wall, you would kind of just place your hands on the wall and just kind of walk your hands down. From here, you're just gonna walk your feet out underneath you. And try to keep a neutral spine, right? So you're just gonna walk your feet out, hinging from your hips, not from your waist, okay? So hinging from your hips there. And when your back gets almost parallel to the floor, if you can, when you think about keeping your core engaged so you're not dumping into your low back, right? So if you have that broom or something on your back, again, it's kind of staying straight, nice neutral spine. And depending on your flexibility, if you want, you can kind of straighten one leg out for a little bit and straighten both. And just kind of walk it out, and then now straighten both legs out. From here, press down onto the tops of the chair, and you're gonna feel this opening up of your ribs on both sides. And then if you'd like, you can bring your right hand on top of your left and press down, opening up your right rib cage, helping with your breathing, and then also on the other side. Now, depending on your curve, again, if you have that right thoracic curve, then you want to open up your left ribs, right? So just kind of thinking about pressing the left hand down even more. And depending on where your curve is in the bottom, in your back. So if you feel a valley in your back, on your low back, I want you to turn that foot out just slightly. And that's where you're gonna notice it fill in the valley a little bit, and that's gonna help also opening up your waist in your concave side. And just kind of pull your hips back, so feel more of that lengthening. If you have any winging in your shoulders, then you can also turn that hand out to the side just slightly, and that will plug your shoulder blade in on that side of it. So this is just an easy lengthening that you can do, and then just slowly walk in. Easy lengthening that you can do just kind of midday between work or anything, just to kind of get some stretching and decompression of your spine. Now, if you turn your chair around, we're gonna go into that wide-legged forward fold that is also in my stretching guide, but I'm gonna show you a variation. So I'm gonna face the seat of the chair and bring my feet out a little bit wider than hip width apart. So just kind of about 3 feet between my feet, and my feet are just slightly turned in, okay? So from there, I'm gonna have you just bend your knees and then hinge forward from your hips, keeping your spine neutral again. Place your hands onto the seat of the chair, and depending on how far down you can go, then you just slowly push the chair out. Make sure it's stable and it's not on wheels because you don't want to fall here. And feel that elongation in your spine. Depending on your flexibility, you can also straighten your legs. But you want to make sure your hips are in line with your heels So it's not too far forward and not all the way back. And just breathe here. And working on that same breathing that we did yesterday, but while we are in these positions. And then bend your knees, place your hands onto your knees, and then come back up. If you don't have the chair, or if you're more flexible and you want, you can also place your hands onto blocks as you do that. So if the blocks are down on the floor, bend your knees, hinge forward, hands onto the blocks, or if you can, just bring them all the way down to the floor, okay? But I always love to just kind of place it onto the chair, and then as it moves out, it helps to elongate the spine even more. Awesome. Well, try those out. Let me know how they feel for you. Don't forget to register for tomorrow. It'll be the last day of the mini series, but bring all your questions. And I know that a lot of you are going to catch this on the replay. So definitely still comment, replay. Let me know how it's feeling. Let me know if you have any questions at all. I'm here to help you. I want to make sure that you're getting the most out of this, and also just making sure that you are feeling good and healthy in your back. All right, so let me know, and I'll just talk to you later. Hello, John. Hello, Blair. Good to see you guys on here, and hopefully I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Have a good one.